Back at one of my favorite companies in Arizona. We've been working together for about a year and a half now. Yeah. But as you know, you hear me talk about it all the time, cleaning is literally the lifeline if it comes to a really good vacation rental. It's very competitive out there, so you got to work with the best, and that's well and good. This is my buddy Jonathan. We're in his warehouse. We're going to do a little B-roll, but I want to introduce you to him because we've met about a year and a half ago now. Yeah. Been working on all my properties, and I think we got like a perfect 5-star on all of them.
I love that.
On all of them.
I love that.
Let's go.
I love that.
Let's go.
Totally.
So you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
So a lot of people that watch you, either are brand new in the business, kind of starting, or they have multiple properties, and I can't even begin to tell you how many questions we get on cleaning. What's the process? So if you wouldn't mind explaining where you guys are going, your company, I'm sure you're expanding, all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned it. The cleaning is so important. You got to have it done right. And I think what we found was that in this industry, the cleaners were oftentimes really not set up for success in the sense that they were asked to do so many things beyond cleaning. So we obviously have a linen aspect to this industry where the beds have to be turned over, and oftentimes cleaners are having to be really laundry attendants and doing the laundry in homes. So what we brought to the industry was a bundled service that does your professional cleaning as well as off-site laundering with hotel-style linens that are standardized. And then we also brought in the guest essentials portion to really eliminate that inventory closet, because again, the cleaner's focus, if it's on what's going on in that inventory closet and all the things, we bring in the items that are needed for each service to make sure it's all there. There's no missing items. And that's really been the thing, the inventory closet, I mean,
oh man, yeah.
It looks like Costco.
And then the guest said it was unlocked, and they open it, and the next thing you know, all your sheets and towels and cookies are gone.
Yep, yep. And then there's this locked up, so in order to avoid that, people put in 1 million locks in there, and it turns into such a process, and they're not as organized as people want them to be. They start off great, and then 2 months later, you're missing half the things, and we just wanted to have a better way to allow the professionals to focus on that clean. So our folks come in with fully laundered linens, sheets, towels, everything, and they're also bringing in all the guest essentials, which allow them to focus on that clean. And so that's been huge. We started here in the Valley, and we were new. We're still new, I guess, but we were really new when we started working with you. You've seen it kind of evolve a little bit in some of the things that we do. Yeah,
which is exciting. I love startups. The energy of startups are always really exciting. And I like going through the pain and suffering with companies, right? It's fun. Like, that they're getting new software installed to make it smoother. Like, it's on my phone. If I have a problem, or like right now, earlier before this meeting, no joke, we have an owner that wants to stay in the house, and I'm like, they're already high sensitive on the cleans and all that stuff. So real quick on the app, I can reach out to Well and Good and say, hey, the owners are coming last minute. Can you guys please make sure it looks great? Boom, right back instantly. And then I can see it. I can get on the app and I can see. So you guys have come a long ways. Before it was a lot of text, which is impossible.
The app is great, and the app brings that photo element to the documentation. Just like you can immediately see in real time what your property looks like. We have every room documented, every appliance is always documented, and now what we found is that the professionals actually love documenting the work. It used to be initially they taking all these pictures, but now they're showing off their work, and they're wanting to have that pride, and it's really because they know that someone's looking at these photos, and like someone's really saying like, wow, that looks awesome. And it does. I think the documentation has been huge for so many things, including what is the condition of the home right now? Can I let somebody in? Are we ready to go?
Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like Jonathan and I could probably sit here all day and talk about this stuff, because as you can tell already, he's very, very passionate in his work, which pushes back on to any host that is work with him. It's not just like, he's my cleaning company, clean my house. It's like a real partnership. He has a ton of passion in trying to get the best cleans possible. They're really open to feedback when they need to change things. They move quickly. So like, I can't stress enough how important it is to team up with somebody that has just the amount of passion on your place as you do, because I know you care about your place more than anybody, but if you partner with somebody like Well and Good, they have that much passion as well. And it just overall, the experience of the guest, the homeowners, the management, everything about it just seems to run a lot smoother.
And I think if you can combine passion with focus, that's where you get great success. Because we can all be passionate, but if we're trying to do everything, it's not going to be successful. We have to have that focus aspect. And so what we say is that we are obsessed with that turnover process. We're obsessed with making sure that everything is clean, everything is presented and always supplied for the guest. That way, the host can focus on being a host, which is that guest experience and providing that unique thing. We say all the time that like our hosts are the artists. We supply the blank canvas to let them actually paint their masterpiece, because that's the unique aspect that a host can bring, is that like, it's what short-term rentals are. It's the beautiful part of this. It's like, hey, come into my community, into my home, or whatever it is, let me show you around a bit. And that's the cool thing about hosting.
That's cool. And I know you guys are based here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you guys are expanding quite a bit. Are you going to different cities around Arizona? Are you starting to get into other states now?
So we service the whole Phoenix Valley, and we also expanded to different cities. We've kind of done that based off of strategic partnerships with hosts, and we wanted to also show diversity within our markets. So we went to some unique markets. We went to Houston, Texas, as well as Boise, Idaho, and then we have expanded into local areas here in Arizona, which is Flagstaff, Sedona, some of those areas north are now part of our servicing, and we do it with all the same values. So meaning that we're still doing off-site laundering, we're still bringing in the items fully ready, just like a hotel does, and no question marks when we get to the house. We want to be prepared for everything that we might be facing there. And yeah, the markets has been a big expansion, I would say, just to learn how to do it in different ways. It's helped us evolve our service here, that the other markets have always given us insight into like, oh, they're doing something different that actually helps us be better here.
It's funny you say that too, because now that I'm so custom working with you guys, when I'm looking for properties, I have a bunch of criteria that I'm doing when I'm looking for properties: price, location, all this stuff. But pretty much at the top 5, I'm calling well and good. I'm like, are you guys servicing Flagstaff or Sedona? And so you say yes or no, then I may not want to buy in that area sometimes. And so when you said Flagstaff the other day, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, we can go, right. It does allow for expansion, because if you know that on-site portion is going to be dialed in, then it can certainly allow for you to expand much more, I would say, confidently. And that's the confidence factor is what we're trying to give, is like give the host the confidence that this is going to be done right, because again, we're going to obsess over it. I think that the footprint part has been good, but the main thing is the service has remained the same. Like regardless, across the board, we're staying consistent with the values that we do. Some of our culture isn't a big part of it. It's another huge thing of what we do, and that has to translate to where every market is feeling that same kind of culture that we do. So yeah.
Very cool. Well, I don't want to keep this man too busy with my time, being selfish, filming.
I love
all
it, man.
day,
Yeah, this is great. I love sitting down, and I've talked a lot about how we love working with great hosts who actually who stand for doing the right things, and that's what we've been able to get with your partnership. Is that really a pillar of somebody who's advocating for responsible hosting, for smart hosting. For let's be modern so that we can be better in essence. And I appreciate what you do for the whole industry. Actually, it's definitely been a huge thing having you as a partner, and also just I love having you as a voice in the entire industry. It's definitely great. It's what we need.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So if you happen to be in a city that's not well and good, then you're going to have to find other cleaners. We get a lot of questions. But if you're in the Phoenix area and you're not using well and good, well, you have other issues you got to figure out, right? Sure. But if you're in a city and well and good's not there, I get a question all the time, and I like to try to help host as much as I possibly can too. And cleaning is one of the top of the questions, right? So do you have any advice for hosts that are trying to find a cleaner in their area, where to go look, and what kind of questions to ask maybe when they're doing the interview process or whatever?
Yeah, I think that it's obviously a difficult thing to try to have that perfect person. Everyone's looking for the unicorn cleaner that can, and I would just say, you can definitely help out some of your communication and the feeling that folks are not having to be barraged by using the right technology. So using something like Breezeway or a task management system can help them not have to be texting photos all the time, but rather putting them there, and that simplifies things a bit. I would say another real key aspect to looking to bring on folks is when you're talking to them, really acknowledge the fact that if you're asking them to do more than one thing, you want to be compensating for more than one thing. Meaning that if they are doing the cleaning and the laundry and the inventory stocking, those are separate things. And I think that cleaners really want to be respected for the talents that they bring. And so acknowledging and potentially even compensating for each one of those individual items, I think is an important process if that is the way that you're doing it. And that'll help bring that relationship a little bit more on a professional level. Yeah. A lot of professionals often feel like they're taken advantage of in some way. And the entry-level folks who are laboring hard, they just feel like, man, I wish that people knew all that I do. And I think coming to them and saying, I understand the elements that go into this is really going to bring a better relationship, which I think is the best way to have that long-term success with someone that's looking to find a cleaner.
Yeah, I agree. All right, you guys, hopefully you learned a lot about my amazing cleaning crew, but not only that, just cleaning in general and how you could talk to your cleaners, how you can hire a good cleaner, what to look for, and check out his facility. It's really cool. So see you guys next week.